Next up, we have the Vikings traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are -3.5 or -4, depending on what book you are taking them on. And the total, Deej, opened up at 41.5, but it's now down to 37.5 because 85% of the bets and 87% of the money are on the under. I am interested to see how Taylor Heinicke does in his first full start for the Falcons. He took over for Desmond Ridder midway through the game last week. And I'm also interested to see, is Josh Dobbs playing? I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is. I think this is
he did on short notice for the Cardinals, so why not for the Vikings?
Yeah, I love the Vikings here. I think people are going to overreact, and I'm surprised that only 51% of the bets are on the Falcons here. I'm surprised at that because I thought a lot of people would overreact to Heinicke coming in for Ridder. It's not. I think Heineke's better than Ridder because I think Ridder's awful, but it's not like he's the greatest quarterback ever to come in. This is Josh Dobbs has played like a quarterback that at this point in the NFL with where we stand with quarterbacks, like he's probably top 20 and he's better than Heinicke. He's looked better. He's taken a bad team to look really good. And I think he's got the weapons now. Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Alexander Madison. He's got a great offense to work with now as opposed to what he had in Arizona. So the Vikings are built to be a better team than the Falcons, and I don't know if I can say they have the better quarterback because we haven't seen them either work with these teams, but I think this is a good spot for them as 4.5-point dogs. Like this is not a gift line, but I hate the Falcons right now. I don't think they should be favored by 4 against anyone.
Bro, I've hated them all season. That is not a secret. I'm a fan of fading them in this spot too. I know it's crazy with what's going on with this quarterback carousel, but getting 3.5 or 4 on the Vikings seems really good. And I'm excited to see what this team can do because the other thing I do kind of like the under here. And just because of what's going on with these offenses. And the Falcons defense, it slipped up recently, but it is still better than expected. And I just don't fully believe in this Falcons offense doing a ton of damage against the Vikings defense here, even though the Vikings defense leaves a lot to be desired. I think that's kind of where we're seeing a line is like there is a pretty, even though it's Taylor Heinicke, it's a pretty big matchup discrepancy. And to your point, I'd rather just fade the Falcons as well as side with the Vikings team that should be able to take advantage of that defense in some of the spots where it's susceptible.
Yeah, it's going to be this will be interesting to watch to see how these teams react to new quarterbacks for sure. And maybe there's a lot up in the air. And one of the reasons I'm not betting it right now is because there is so much in the up in the air. But if the Falcons can get the ball moving with Bijan like they want to, and not be limited at quarterback, then things can get scary. But even with Ridder at quarterback, there were still a lot of issues fundamentally. And I think the Vikings can take advantage of that, especially with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. So we'll see how these things like play out for these two teams. But if I bet it wouldn't be a lot, half a unit or whatever. But we'll see what people think come Sunday. This is going to be a fun one to watch, I think, in this rough slate. We're getting into a slew of a couple good games here, and I'm excited about it. Thank you guys for listening. This is our breakdown of Week 9 in the NFL. It's been fun. Eddie and I have been on the opposite side of a lot of these games. But as always, you can check out our articles, as always, on happyhoursports.net for NFL. NBA is ramping up. We've got NHL ramping up as well. College football, as always. And then, of course, the Prelim and Pilsners podcast. Or is it Pilsners and Prelims? Pilsners and Prelims podcast. I know. Again, I made the name and I still forget it. But that's how catchy it is. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, we just got done recording for UFC Sao Paulo last night. You will see that. Well, that'll be out by the time this podcast comes out. So definitely go check us out. We previewed every single fight on that card, besides the one that got nixed with Elvis Brenner, where he got a different opponent. As well as be sure to check us out for hockey content. I know DJ touched on it, but we've got 3 dedicated hockey writers now on the site, and they are super fired up about hockey being back. And they're writing some cool pieces. It's not just betting stuff. There's a lot of opinion stuff on there too, where I feel like if you guys go and read their stuff and want to chime in too, definitely find them on Twitter and where they post a lot of their content and join that conversation. So couldn't be more excited about what's going on, to your point, Deej, and couldn't be more excited to bounce back in Week 9 either.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to get into it. So thank you guys for listening. As always, we are here on Sharpen the Public every Tuesday and Friday, recapping and previewing NFL weeks. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next time. And thank you for checking us out on YouTube. Keep getting us some support. We're getting a few subscribers here and there. So thank you to everyone on YouTube. We appreciate you. And hopefully we can keep on winning for you. So
cheers, guys. The boys bet better with beer.